We should start the show, though.
Hi, I'm Jack.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Lauren.
And we are Glib Shark. Today is January 26, 2016. I don't know what happened in the news today. It's unimportant.
Abe Vigoda died.
Yeah, I know.
Abe
The guy who's
Vigoda died.
the guy who will never die just died.
Hold on. Before we get too far in, we do have a Rocket John in the room.
Hello. Hi, Rocket John.
A.K.A. Carlton Tanks from the popular web series Dungeons & Dragons and Drunks.
Yay, I smashed things.
Yay!
I smashed
yes.
Vigoda a little too hard. I critted.
So we're kind of going like manic depressive. It's all like Abe Vigoda's dead. Boo. Carlton's here. Yay!
Well, okay, so at this point, I think with so many death hoaxes, we were ready for Abe Vigoda to be dead for a long time.
Also, unlike the other celebrity deaths, Abe Vigoda he's a surprise only in that many people thought he was already dead. I mean, he's a dear, wonderful, hilarious man, but he was like 3 million years old. Some of the other people were only like, what, 69? 59?
Yeah, all the guys who died recently were under 70.
And
exactly.
almost all of them died of cancer.
And a couple of them suddenly. So Abe Vigoda, I think, has been almost threatening to die for like 50 years. There is an actual website you can go to that's abevigoda.com that for the longest time, all it was just a picture of Abe Vigoda and it said he's still alive. And sadly, now if you go there, it says he's dead and it's got little X's on his eyes and it's really sad.
So I learned about it because our good friend Martha Marin, her homepage apparently for the longest time was abevigoda.com. So now, for the first time, probably since it became a thing, like what, 2002?
Forever ago.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
It's different now.
Oh, that's so sad.
Her homepage finally changed.
Her homepage finally changed. But yeah, that's how I heard about it. And I mean, this was a thing back from when, from my FARC days. We were at dinner earlier with some friends, Tiffany and her boy and my roommate Larry right now. And we were talking about it. And what was awesome was the table next to us heard us talking about Abe Vigoda and FARC and the Firefox plugin you used to be able to get. And they were like, oh, Abe Vigoda's dead. And we started a little conversation there. Right there, randomly in the sushi place.
It's like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
In other news, has the Large Hadron Collider destroyed the world yet.com still reports no. I think this will be my new webpage, my homepage.
I think that when it does, we won't realize it. We won't realize that the website has been updated when that does happen.
Well,
it'll be amazing, though.
Yeah. It'll be like, yes, and we won't know for 8 minutes.
You've got 8 minutes.
We've got time to prepare.
Quick, what did Vsauce say to do in this situation?
Live This Week in Geek. I mean, we've already kind of charged into news, but I honestly wasn't going to talk about Abe Vigoda.
Well, you are lovely, talented, and amazing, and your name is Obo Crazy, so it seems like you're qualified to do This Week in Geek. How are you, Obo?
I am excellent. My microphone works with my computer again. Yay! I had to spend 2 hours in a Mac store and completely reinstall and wipe my hard drive. So there's other issues, but I can record things again. So now, in glorious, wonderful sound quality, I can tell you about the people behind Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. You remember that? That was that Broadway show that somebody thought was a good idea before it turned out that no, that was a really bad idea and people kept getting hurt. The company behind that have decided to do something else. They're headed to China for a new venture, a live-action Transformers attraction that also sounds like it's a bad idea. In cooperation with Chinese film company DMG, S2BN Entertainment, who, for those who were curious, were also behind the similar in scope The Marvel Experience, which was canceled after only 3 weeks because of overwhelming complaints. They're going to be launching Transformers Live, with Hasbro as the first live-action event based around the robots in disguise. Presumably, given that the Transformers movies are hugely popular in China, the show will be based on the movie designs rather than the toys or the 20 million other Transformers incarnations. In a press release, S2BN Entertainment chairman Michael Cole said that, quote, fans will experience intense action, beautiful visual moments, and emotionally engaging story, lots of humor, and rousing music, end quote. I don't remember any of those things from the actual movies, but who knows? So Transformers Live is due to hit China in 2017 and probably going to close shortly afterwards. I just hope nobody gets hurt. On other news, so we were just talking about Abe Vigoda. A week ago, we were talking about the late, great David Bowie. And so with him passing away, the news of a new Labyrinth movie kind of was bad timing. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, TriStar has closed a deal with the Jim Henson Company to produce a new iteration of the 1986 movie that, starred Bowie as Jareth, the Goblin King. This is not supposed to be a reboot. The new movie is going to be written by, and I just lost her name. Oh, here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy co-writer Nicole Perlman. She's been hired to pen the new Labyrinth movie. Perlman was actually kind of upset that the news ended up breaking right now because of the bad timing. She said that in a series of tweets, said, quote, not rebooting anything, guys. Henson Co. and I started talking in late 2014, so the timing of these rumors is so upsetting. I would never seek to profit from Bowie's death. Labyrinth is my favorite film from childhood, so I share your concerns that any continuation of the world be handled with love and respect. End quote. Now, the original movie was penned by Monty Python's Terry Jones. It was executive produced by George Lucas. It was in cooperation with the Jim Henson Company. It was the last movie to be directed by Jim Henson, and it was a flop. Labyrinth only made $12.7 million on a budget of $25 million. Now, it has gone on to have a huge cult following and become a classic, but let's all remember that there were some awesome people behind the first one, and it kind of failed. So I think it's just the timing on this that has people freaking out. The fact that it's not a reboot makes me happy because, especially now that he's dead, who the hell would want to play Jareth? Nobody. That's right. Nobody can pull off that codpiece or that hair. So we'll have to see what happens next. Finally, in news that you're just going to have to go out and listen to after the show, there's a rap battle going on, and it's amazing. So the rapper B.O.B., yep, that's Bob, he believes that the world is flat. Despite the fact that there is overwhelming evidence to the contrary, he continues to believe with a small group of truthers that there is some grand conspiracy to make us all believe that the earth is round. So he's tweeted about this. He's got 2.3 million Twitter followers, and he's been tweeting about how he firmly believes that the world is flat. He actually tweeted a picture of himself with some cities, basically saying, how can this be a curve, using super bad science? And Neil deGrasse Tyson responded with science, explaining why that's not the case. And the rapper Bob decided that he was just going to call Neil deGrasse Tyson a liar. And on top of that, he did what most rappers do, which is to release a diss track, which is basically when a rapper performs a song to insult another person specifically. So he released a diss track on Neil deGrasse Tyson. And you do need to listen to it because it's crazy. It's also not safe for work. And it's just, it's ridiculous. The hook is flatline, flatline. There's no superior bloodline. Flatline, flatline. You got me once, but that died. Yep, at one point, he calls Neil deGrasse Tyson fat. He basically, at some point, just says heliocentrism. You were the sixth victim. Fuck you and your team. You could sit on the bench with them. Anyway, go listen to it because it's crazy. Mostly go listen to it because then you can hear Neil deGrasse Tyson fight back. That's right. Tyson teamed up with his nephew, Steven Tyson, for a diss track fired back at B.O.B. And it's awesome. It is amazing. Neil deGrasse Tyson and his nephew fight back against rappers and the fact that they think that the earth is flat. And it includes all kinds of awesome science. And it is a little more safe for work. So definitely do a Google search for it. You have to listen to the B.O.B. diss track and then go listen to the Neil deGrasse Tyson response diss track, I guess. I don't know. I'm a white Jew. I don't know anything about rap except that Neil deGrasse Tyson is awesome. That's all for This Week in Geek. I'm Obo Crazy, and I know the world is round.
The world is indeed a round place. And if you have a fact that you want read live and on the air, you can send it to Lauren at obocrazy.com. And while you're at it, go to our website, glibshark.com, home of all episodes of all-time podcast, previous Jenga Jam, current Glib Shark, and of course the latest sensation, Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks, who you can follow at Dungeon Drunks on Twitter. But Jonathan's jumping in here.
Yes, I have a rebuttal this week in Geek.
Oh?
So I have made a few notes. I need to do this more often because I find that the This Week in Geek are good talking points. So here we go. I believe that David Tennant, also known as David Tennant, could definitely fill the Goblin King's codpiece. Just saying. Moving on. Spider-Man.
That may be a matter of personal opinion.
They would have to wind his dick around his balls. It's that big. But I digress from my next point, which was that Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark might have been dangerous, but it wasn't as nearly as deadly as the Las Vegas show Ka, which a couple of people actually died from. There's a stunt where basically there's a battlefield and they're running, the battlefield is vertical, so they're running up it, these performers, and they're on wires. Well, a couple of times wires broke. They don't do that stunt anymore. They actually project it on a screen now. Like if you go see Ka in Vegas, I don't believe they do that stunt because some chick died. Finally, Lauren, as a white Jew, you may not know much about rap, but I know 3 white Jews who knew a lot about rap. The Beastie Boys. Dropping my notepad. Boom.
Okay. I have no argument against that.
The world just got stranger.
Argue. Yeah.
If you have a fact you went rap live and on the air, you can send it to Roadblock at... No,
don't do that.
Don't encourage him.
No, my voice is a lot less melodious.
It's true.
But you can probably rap better than me.
I would not want to try.
There may or may not
rap
be video.
battles of Glib Shark history.
Yeah, there may or may not be video of me doing some freestyling in the back of a Christmas caroling van under the name Fatal Flow. Not saying it exists or not, but it could be out there.
Now our loyal listening audience needs to go dig that up, if only for the lulz.
But we have a guest that's not normally on the show.
Hey, Rocket John.
I'm on the show occasionally.
You're on the show once in a while. Well, you're not I said you're not normally on the show.
I have better things to do.
You're not normally on this show. You're normally on a
Well,
different...
thanks for
I'm
tuning
on the off-brand.
The off-brand. I feel like
I don't know. At this point, I think it's the premium brand.
Yeah.
Like, it's the prime cut.
Glib Shark Plus.
Glib Shark Red.
Which I just signed up for. Like, I was looking.
You signed up for Glib Shark Red? Why am I not
for
part of it?
YouTube Red? For YouTube Red. I was on my phone looking at a video, and a random thing came up. Hey, do you want to try YouTube Red for 30 days? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I probably won't cancel it. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, so tell me why it's awesome, because right now all I can see is that I am choosing to pay money for YouTube and maybe not see as many ads.
You see no ads.
Okay.
So when I'm
Adblock makes so I don't see ads.
well,
Oh, yeah, but ad block also screws things over.
yes. So what I mainly use YouTube for is at work. If I need to kind of help myself zone out, I listen to music while I'm working, and YouTube is a great source of a lot of different music. It's also not blocked at work, which is important. As normally I would just use like Spotify or something, but Spotify's blocked. Everything is blocked, but YouTube isn't because we actually have for my work videos online. So we need access to YouTube. So I use YouTube for a lot of music, and then I listen to podcasts. Occasionally, I even listen to our show when I manage to put it on YouTube. But anyway, my my shortcomings as a producer aside, what I really like about it is the fact that I can pretty much get anything I want, and the ability to listen to anything I want without ads, especially something that's more long form, like an hour and a half video that's not interrupted by like 6 ads, is great. So I've liked it so far. I'm probably going to keep it, and it's been great so far.
Yeah, I'll probably sign up for the trial once Laser Team drops on there.
That was the other thing. I figured with Laser Team dropping, even though I'm getting a digital copy and stuff, I support the project.
I just want to see my name in the credits.
I want to see my name in the credits too.
By the way,
Were you on it?
No, I'm one of the backers that backed at a level 2.
Gotcha.
Well, and what happened was, classically, site admins up until very recently have been in the credits.
Thanks, yeah.
We don't get it anymore, and that's fine. I mean, we're just basically community super users, so that's okay. Yeah. But for Laser Team, I went ahead and backed at a level where my name is in the credits. So I'm definitely staying for that special thanks.
So I'm glad you guys brought up Laser Team, because I don't know about you, but I literally moments before we went live received my backer email with my digital copy.
Now, I got mine too.
Yep. Now I am going with Luke tomorrow to go see it in theaters. We have our tickets. So I bought them as soon as they were available on Tug. We're super excited. So the question has now become, do we watch it tonight and get to see it in the comfort of our own home and see all the extras that it comes with and amazing things, and then be able to enjoy it on the big screen tomorrow and maybe look for more details or more in-jokes and funny things? Or do we wait the 24 hours and have the experience with everybody on the big screen in the theater?
Wait for it on the theater. There's a lot of practical effects that it's definitely going to be a nice big screen movie.
Like, we're going to go see it on the screen no matter what. It's not like, I got it on digital.
I think being able to experience it for the first time with a group of people might be more enjoyable than experiencing it for the second time with a group of people.
Especially considering it is guaranteed to be a group of Rooster Teeth fans.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably some friends of yours that are already there.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know there's several showings in Seattle, one of which actually Gavin is going to be at. It's not the one Luke and I are going to be at. I think we're going to the same one as Mary and Chris, Sailor Tweak and Sir Narvi. I think there's a bunch of other people going to that specific showing. I'm not 100% sure.
But you get to have that joint first time experience with friends. That's something that you're not going to get often.
This is true.
And your digital copy's not going anywhere.
This is also true. Also, I backed it at a level in where I am getting a physical media disc. I don't remember at this point if it's a DVD or a Blu-ray, because I'm a dork and I might have actually ordered just the DVD because I'm a dork. I'm going to have both a digital and a physical copy and have seen it in the theaters. So there you go.
I'm a bad fan. I didn't back it at that level. I backed it enough for just the challenge coin.
Listen, if I had the money, I would have backed it to get the sweatshirt, and I would have backed it to be in the credits, but I didn't have the money. So
well,
I was happy that the level I needed to get the physical copy of the disc, and I also have the poster, but the poster was a lower level.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at there was the check on the desk from Rooster Teeth to John.
Yeah, I know. That's why he gets to have his name in the credits.
Yeah.
As,
well, the reason I backed the challenge coin is because I do a lot of work with them, and it actually came to fruition.
Yes.
Tell
the story.
They just released it. We filmed the immersion jetpack, the Star Wars Battlefront one, and we also filmed the Metal Gear Solid immersion. And on the Metal Gear Solid one, I had forgotten my challenge coin at home because I was using it as a prop in my home D&D game. Like, I covered it up, made it a coin and all, but I had forgotten to bring it with me to set. And I asked Bernie if he had his. He's like, no, I don't, but I didn't have mine. So I was like, all right, well, next time I'm going to get you. Lo and behold, come the jetpack immersion. I gave him fair warning. I was going to call him out on it, and he didn't have it. So Bernie owes me a drink because we're filming. I'm like, hey, Bernie, I pull out. I'm like, you got one of these? He goes, fuck. He's like, all right, I owe you a drink. You got me. He's like, and you gave me warning. I was like, I know.
I'm imagining when you tell the story, I'm hearing it in Bernie voice, and it's amazing. Nice.
I actually just got my 1099 for the laser team. So
Sweet. So I'm going to ask you this question, which you might not be able to answer, which is okay. I was listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast, and Bernie was going on about how apparently there is an immersion that is not coming out because it ended up not working. And all he confirmed, because he said that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then apparently everybody thinks that whatever the next immersion is coming out was the quote unquote failed one. So he was trying to clarify, and he said there's a Skyrim one that got filmed, but it didn't work. And so if we ever put anything out that's Skyrim immersion, you're going to see basically like, here's the behind the scenes of a failed immersion. Did you have anything to do with that one?
I wasn't the reason it failed.
No.
I guess I could say I worked on it. Like, I can't give you details about what it was and what the concept that we worked on, but yeah, I did work on that one.
Okay. No, it's good to know because I like knowing when you worked on shit.
Please don't fire me.
No,
they're not listening to this. It's fine.
Listen, that's all I really need to know. I don't expect you to tell us anything about it, but I figured if Bernie was putting it out there that this was something they had done, and you are known to have worked on Rooster Teeth stuff, and you know that at least you can say if you'd worked on that.
Yeah,
so.
One of my better clients. I like them. They're fun.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, and I've done all of $1 Million season 1, Immersion season 2, season 3 now.
Yeah, we've talked about your outtakes.
Two.
We've talked about your outtakes in $1 Million Butt.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, what that happened was for those who haven't seen it, the episode with Colton Dunn, where he's being pushed around in a baby stroller by a bodybuilder. He had to get a flight back to LA, and he had a hard out at a certain time, and we kind of ran out of people to be extras, and they're like, "All right, Sedlak, go. We don't have time to go get somebody from the office. We're on a tight schedule." I'm like, what? I'm all sweaty and gross because I'm lugging camera gear around in the middle of the summer in Austin, and I'm like, sure. And I'm like, yeah, no, there's no surprise it ended up on the cutting room floor.
So we should probably mention, Roadblock, you are visiting John right now.
I am. That's how we are in the same room.
And why is that?
I am going to be going to PAX this weekend.
PAX South, yay!
PAX South.
Yeah. Jonathan the Magic Muscular and Carlton Tanks will be representing Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks at PAX South.
If you are one of the lucky few who listen to this show, please come up and bug us about Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks.
I'll actually, hopefully they'll arrive in time, but I will have something to give out.
And I will be drunk.
And
I probably will be too.
Yeah.
I will even put this out there. If you approach either of these two fine gentlemen and talk to them about Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks, and they tweet a picture take a picture with them and tweet out at Dungeon Drunks the picture saying, I met Carlton Tanks, or I met Jonathan the Magic Muscular at PAX South, I'll make sure that your name ends up in a future episode.
Kind of like the goddess Kiyoshi.
Kind of like the god, well, except maybe not so random. But yes, I will put that out there. If you run into one of the two of them and tweet at Dungeon Drunks a picture of having met them, I will make sure you end up in a future episode. Now, that may happen.
Oh, yeah.
That may happen in several months because our release schedule is we are really far ahead.
Yeah.
Our
podcast,
recordings.
we have a queue and a backlog in case things happen where we can't record every week. We're safe.
Yes. And I really appreciate our backlog because, well, one, it helps me remember. I think I've said this before, but it helps me remember what the hell we did.
Yeah.
Because it's Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks, and one of those things affects memory.
Right. Well, like we just had the episode released not too long ago with Flunk Bro, and I completely forgot about the Cobalt treasure he told us about 20 miles north, and we're like west of the city or south of the city. I'm like, well, we got to go north and get that treasure.
We'll do it. I think, right?
If we remember next time we play.
Okay.
That's pretty much.
So, spoiler alert. we didn't go for the treasure.
Not yet anyway, but without going into spoilers for episodes that are probably not going to drop for at least a month or two, you guys have some other options on your plate.
Yes.
There are other check boxes to be checked as far as searching for treasure.
Our DM has been very generous.
Yes, she has.
Indeed.
She's been a fair DM.
Yeah.
They're required to say that by law, or else I will slaughter them.
That is true.
You're both.
Well,
you're all right.
I try. So, what else are you guys looking forward to seeing at PAX?
I'm going to be doing what I usually do is I do the big panel trifecta, which is I go for the keynote, stay for Penny Arcade #1, and then stay for Rooster Teeth, and then go do Expo. But since I've gotten more into D&D, I actually DM my home game. So there's a couple like how to be a better DM panels, or like how to get your game back on track, which I'm looking forward to improve myself as both a DM and a PC.
Yeah, I'll probably come with you to that one. So since PAX South is in my hometown of San Antonio, Texas, I actually a lot of times go meet my family, and I know that last year I did not go to the Rooster Teeth panel because I was having lunch with my family. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make the trifecta. I will if I can. But the other thing I was looking forward to is I'm looking forward to Thornwatch. They're dropping new Thornwatch stuff, so I am looking forward to seeing and hopefully playing that.
There's also a panel about like horror tabletop games from like Betrayal at House on the Hill, and that's one of my probably my go-to games now, and I'm looking forward to hearing how that came about.
I wonder if they're going to do I wonder if a game like Cthulhu Wars or Chaos in the Old World, where it's got a horror / cosmic horror slant, but its gameplay is not necessarily like you're running around in a dungeon, sort of how Betrayal and House on the Hill is. It's kind of a dungeon crawl,
yeah.
But you could almost call the like Cthulhu Wars or Chaos in the Old World, you could call them like area control light wargaming almost. I don't know if those would count or not.
I don't know. What else? Picture game idea. That's always every PAX. It's always a good panel to go to.
Oh, is Pork Fry going to be at that one?
I don't know.
He's usually at the one in Seattle, but I don't know if he's going out to South.
Jeff Kalis and special hilarious guests.
Yeah, so who knows?
Do we know? Because Rocket John and I were talking about who the Omeganauts were, because we were trying to see if any of them are anyone we know.
Yeah, show our support.
And I feel like if we had an Omeganaut from the group, from the wide breadth of group, that we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. Like, but sometimes it falls through the cracks, so that's why I wanted to look it up. And I'm like, all right, I can't find anything.
That's what happened to Austin last year. He even put up a journal, but
I just missed it, and so did other people. And it's like, oh crap, dude, I didn't realize until you were already out.
Out of curiosity, the DM panel that you guys were talking about going to, do you know who is on that panel? Which Wizards of the Coast people it's going to be?
It's the first one is Art of the Table, GMing Beyond the Basics. It's all from people from like Art of the Table, Dystopia, Rising Lone Star, Sage Cobalt Productions, and Penny Arcade.
From
Mike Failauer. I'm going to butcher that name.
Let me see.
Mike Failauer?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
He's also from Penny Arcade. He's usually one of the people behind a lot of the Acquisition Incorporated games.
Right. I don't think Wizards of the Coast is going to be at PAX South at all.
Yeah, I didn't see them on the vendor list.
They might not be an official vendor, but sometimes a lot of the people show up, like Mike Merles or Chris Perkins or any of them. What's the other panel
Hooks and Hacks, How to Get Your Game Back on Track, and that's going to be by the people from EpicRoll.net.
Okay.
So it sounds like there's other role-playing resources that are going to be there, just not Wizards of the Coast.
I am bringing my dice, and like I was telling Jonathan, I might make just a level 1 array character just in case there's a pickup D&D game, because I played with my friends at RTX, and now I'm like a heroin addict.
So I just got an update from friend of the show, Carly, who let us know that Optic, as in Nick, he's an Omeganaut this year.
Do we know Optic? Do I know Optic?
Optic sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me too.
Yeah.
He is awesome, and he is an Omeganaut.
So I don't want to offend Carly, but it might be someone that I've met that I don't remember again.
You can always plead
Carly,
drunkenness.
I love you. I'm so sorry.
It's documented in our children's book. No randos, said Jonathan. But I've met you 8 times, said Optic.
Oh my god, I'm such a fucking asshole.
But we love you.
Yeah.
I kind of want to write a children's book about our podcast.
I can't wait to see the art in the pool beer chapter. Like how fat am I gonna be?
The fattest.
Or maybe I make it like an activity book. Like, find 10 things that are wrong with this picture.
Find 10 randos.
Only 5 beers.
Nope, that's somebody knows. John is an asshole.
Drunk asshole, apparently.
That's no rando. That's Pope Francis.
Well, I haven't actually met Pope Francis, so he would be considered a rando.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pope Francis, no RFRs.
Yeah, like if Pope Francis wouldn't raid with us, I mean, we have no way to vet him.
Yeah.
How do I know he doesn't have a Tom? Oh,
Listen,
White smoke in the Vatican, man. That's all I need to see.
I feel like if he were like
Considering-
join our D&D game, he would definitely be taking over the role of cleric.
Well, yeah, obviously.
okay, so
I love my
Would
little
we-
gnome cleric, but I think I'd have to go to Pope Francis.
but hold on. But I don't know if Pope Francis is awesome, but I don't know if he can be funny.
Yeah.
And our current cleric,
Is
as
hilarious.
heretical as she can be sometimes, is awesome. I would not make that trade.
See,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not.
Trade.
Oh, I'm not
Hey,
talking about
you
a
know
trade
what?
at all.
What?
Listen,
Pope Francis can play a paladin.
Paladin, there we go.
I was about to say. Actually, I was thinking if our current cleric, considering what she likes to do, wanted to go towards a more paladin or something else, something a little bit more whack-em, rock'em, sock'em robots, then we could definitely have Pope Francis playing a very standard heal you, bless you cleric. Luke and I have talked about running games that are just everyone's playing a cleric, or everyone's playing a bard, or everyone's playing, the same class. And clerics are
I think
in
we should do a
5th edition.
5-man barbarian
Awesome.
team.
Smash!
That's what Vince Young called Dream Team.
That Wizards did, and they started doing it in 3rd edition, and they really focused on it in 4th. They sort of had every role in every flavor. Like they had a divine controller, and then they had a arcane controller, and then I think I'm trying to remember what the other one was. They really didn't have like a martial controller or anything like that. But between those 3, they kind of filled out the roles. So you could have an all divine party that still had a striker, a controller, a leader, and a what were they called? They weren't called tanks, but they were called something
They were
else.
called Carltons.
Yeah, there's certainly some classes that you can do that a little bit more easily with, like clerics, especially in 5th edition, and bards, especially when bards get to a semi-high level. They have to get up into like 5 or 6 and be able to start really doing their bardic bullshit, as my home game likes to say. But when that happens, they can just bards specifically can start stealing spells from any other class. And bards have a track they can go down that is, one way is basically I can do all of the checks forever for all time, and the other is I can actually fight things. So, and clerics are the same way. In 5th edition, there's like 5 different flavors of clerics, some of which aren't really healers at all. So you could conceivably have an entire party of all of those classes and really cover everything you need. Might be a little more different with, say, barbarians. It's a little bit of a limited thing. There's not many barbarian things that end up with intelligence as a high stat. But hey, I wouldn't be opposed to trying.
I feel like
I
druids
actually have a decent intelligence. I mean, it's my lowest stat, but it's still +1.
Yeah, it's sort of like Jonathan the Magimuscular doesn't really have any dumb stats. Like his wisdom, I want to say, is like 13. I think that's his lowest.
Yeah, but the problem with some of with barbarian or wizards or rogues or other classes, there's not a way to diversify your skill set to take advantage of those.
Well, and I feel like, at least in 4th edition, I'm not sure about 5th edition, but I feel like also druids could have done the same thing. Maybe not even in 4th, maybe more like 3.5, because of all the splat books, you had tons and tons of prestige classes. So you could be like a more spellcasty druid, or you could be a more fighty druid, or you could
Yeah.
even be, I think,
A bear.
a more sneaky druid. My druid in 3.5 was a Inuit druid, and he shapeshifted into a polar bear.
In our house game before I took over as DM, I was a druid and I shifted into I was a forest druid, so I shifted into a brown bear.
Yeah,
was
that's
cool.
what Luke
But then
does in our home
team
game.
fell into a magical portal, and the bear got left behind because
Oh.
the bear became the DM.
Yeah, Luke in our home game when he's not DMing plays as a 5th edition druid, and his we're still low enough level in that game in where he doesn't do it. He doesn't have a lot of his abilities, but yeah, his main offensive tool right now is he changes into a bear.
Yep.
But yeah,
Love it.
druid's a little more limiting, but you could have a party of druids and cover a lot of your bases as far as both healing and offensive spells. You can have druids that are controllers, and you can have druids that are tanks, depending on what you shapeshift into. So
Yeah.
really, some of the martial classes you can't have a whole party of. Like our home game, I'm playing a monk, and monks get 0 spells, 0
Yeah.
for forever. So you can't have a whole party of monks, or else you have 0 spells. And while you can conceivably do that in, say, I've just lost it. What's the name of the? There's a couple of campaign settings out there that are low
like
magic.
Dark Sun and stuff.
Dark Sun.
like
Thank
low
you, Dark
magic
Sun.
stuff.
Yeah, but exactly, Dark Sun was exactly what I was thinking of. You can kind of go that way, but you still need like divine magic. Usually, you usually need something.
Hell, even my barbarian can eventually cast spells.
Yeah. Nope, I,
I mean,
looked
be it
it up.
rituals, but
Monks get to do other fun things and get other spell-like abilities, but they're all punching things,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, my druid back in the day he could wild shape and still cast spells because of stuff he did.
That's current druids as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I had to work very hard to get that set up.
Yeah, all druids in 5e get both wild shape and spell casting, and then eventually you pick a track. I think it's 2nd level, in where you either focus more on the wild shaping, which lets you be more powerful creatures quicker, or focus more on the spell casting, which gives you more powerful spell casting. But druids all can get their they can all do the druid craft, and they can all beast shape, wild shape.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is, can they cast spells while beast shaped?
No,
Mine could.
there is.
There was
there's some
there was
high
a fight
levels.
where
Okay.
there was a fight where he cast spider climb on himself, and so he was running around a defiled church, and he was running along the ceiling and stuff and dropping down and burying people.
Okay. There is some higher level stuff you can get that will let you do some, but it's not easy.
Nah,
But no.
yeah, that was one of the, like, back in the day, the most broken classes were always like spell swords, because you could, if you mix the right spells with the right martial stuff, you could get like tons and tons of damage. This character was not quite that broken, but he could still, like, once he got into combat, he never needed to leave bear form. He could even rage.
Nice. Yeah.
and that would keep him from casting spells. But if he was just in regular bear form, no, he could cast anything.
And there's no system that's perfect. I haven't heard too much about some broken stuff in 5th edition, but in 4th edition, I played 2 different characters who were min-maxed in a fun way at higher levels, and where they were just ridiculous. I played an archer who he was my paragon, and he just dual shot. He just hit things twice. And then he had a bow that was winter touched, and then I would do extra damage when something was winter touched, and I would just do tons and tons and tons of damage. It was a little broken and a little ridiculous, and basically the only way to stop him was to throw ice things at him, and even then he could still do tons of damage.
Yeah, there was a couple of ways to do that with rangers. Like the cleric ranger was another one where you get like blessed weapon and a couple other spells. So with each twin strike, each arrow would roll, like, I think its normal damage, and then like 2 or 3 d6 each. And then I had one that was a ranger warlord, and he did something similar where if he moved, he would get extra dice. But it wasn't the ranger cleric was by far the most broken one.
The most fun broken one I ever played was one of my last 4th edition characters was Makor, the Dragonborn Dragon Sorcerer. and he was built in such a way in where basically he was the way the class was called was a rebreather. He was built to basically be able to use his breath weapon every single round.
Oh,
and
wow.
so yeah, so what he would do would be if he cast any spell, if he did any action that was an attack, he'd get temporary hit points. And if he got hit with damage that was the same type as his breath weapon, he would recharge his breath weapon. And then I had him take a feat in where if he hit one of his allies with his breath weapon, he could choose to take the damage himself. So basically every round...
Oh, he would recharge his breath weapon. That's cool.
Yep. Yeah, it was amazing. And it was ridiculous. And I would intentionally... he was essentially a sadomasochist. He would intentionally get hurt so that he could hurt things. But then he would constantly be getting temporary hit points, so he really wasn't getting hurt. It was ridiculous. We should probably stop the intense D&D talk because I want to talk about X-Files.
Okay, so here's my thing with X-Files. I liked the first episode.
I've only seen the first episode. I'm behind by one episode.
For this reason is why I'm complaining, because I haven't seen anything from the first episode either. Why the fuck are they showing it every day this week?
Because why? I don't fucking know. But there are only 6 episodes. They're just blowing the whole wad this week.
They can show it over 6 weeks. They did. I think Agent Carter was like 8 episodes, and they did that over 8 weeks.
I wonder if this is the cable TV version of as close as they can get to a Netflix dump.
So I've heard that so much, and it is not Netflix.
It's not.
It's
I agree.
The opposite.
It's not even cable. It's broadcast TV.
No. But what I'm saying is the point Obo is making is that this is the closest that a broadcast TV can get to a Netflix model where you could binge it all.
Really? Because Angie Tribeca debuted all their 25 episodes in the course of one day.
Well, but what I'm saying is that Angie Tribeca was it on one of the big 4 networks?
Nah, that's cable.
Yeah, so
that's TBS.
But what I'm saying is that the whole Netflix thing is convenience. You can watch as many episodes in a day or not as you can. We call this binge watching because you could essentially watch it over a weekend. This is the fucking opposite of binge watching. Where am I right now?
Well, wait.
Bedroom.
I'm in John's bedroom. What am I not doing?
Making love.
We're not doing that either. We're not doing. But I'm not watching
Yeah.
fucking X-Files.
Okay, but
X-Files last night. I am not going to be watching X-Files all these nights. And why? Because they're putting them on the same fucking week when I'm busy. I could make time for it if it was only Sunday like it used to be. But it's not. It's stupid. I hate it.
Okay, they're going to put it out. I'm not disagreeing with you, but here is the argument. If they were going to put it out in a normal model for television, cable or otherwise, it would be once every week. They're only making 6 of these episodes. They have decided not to broadcast them all in one day and take up an entire day of nothing but X-Files. By doing it once per day, starting on a Sunday, by Friday, all of them will be available on the app, or by Saturday, I should say, because the app, you can get on everything that you can get apps on, and they have the episodes available the next day. So if you want to watch it live as it comes out, you can. If you want to keep up to date on it as it gets updated on the app, you can. If you want to binge watch it, you don't have to wait 6 weeks. You have to wait 6 days, and then it all becomes available on a weekend, and you can go nuts. So this is why they can, this is I think their compromise. No, you can't binge watch it from day one, but in 6 days, the first weekend it's available, you can watch the whole thing.
So I guess my question is, so the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
There is no football on next week. Is Fox broadcasting...
What about the Pro Bowl?
Hold on. Is Fox broadcasting the Pro Bowl?
Even if they are, who the fuck cares about the Pro Bowl?
Exactly! They could spend all the time for when football would start, like 5 o'clock, and go all the way to 10 or 11, or maybe start sooner. They did not have to do it now. I get that they were trying to build on the playoff game. Like they were bringing that audience in order to build the audience for the X-Files. Because that's exactly what I did. I watched the football game, and then I had X-Files. That was exactly the point of that evening. So I get that, but I don't get the releasing it over the week. I still don't. I disagree with the fact that they're trying to make it all Netflixy, and I get what you're saying. I still think it's stupid.
Well, here's my argument. So wait, Jonathan, you have not seen the first episode?
I have seen the first episode.
Oh, you have?
I have
Okay.
not seen Mondays. I'm not seeing tonight's. I'm not seeing tomorrow's. I'm not seeing Thursday. I'm not seeing fucking Friday.
Okay.
I have stuff to do.
What about
Jenga and John, have
No,
you guys
no.
have you guys seen the first? I want to move on. Have you guys seen the first episode?
I saw the first episode, but like Jonathan, I have not seen it.
I don't care about the rest. Have you seen the first episode?
Yes.
Jenga, have you seen the first episode?
Not the first or the second one though.
You didn't see the first, but you did see the second?
Yeah, like I'm not a huge X-Files guy. I mean, I watched a little bit, and you know, my wife and I saw it on like last night, so we just kind of watched it.
Yeah, this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
But the episode I saw on Sunday was the very first X-Files episode I've ever seen. I never watched the original series.
No, that's fine.
I was a youngin.
That's
Remember,
fine.
I'm not old like you people.
That's fine.
Say goodbye to John, everybody.
I want to
No,
talk.
no, ahead, because I'm here.
Listen, I just want to see if it's okay to talk about that first episode, which is why I'm asking. I don't care if you've seen the other
I
episodes.
mean,
I don't care if
you
you've
can
seen the
talk
original
about.
show.
I don't care if you spoil it for me.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm going to say this. I was disappointed.
You're not alone.
I was sorely disappointed, and I was enough of a fan of the original show that I was still watching it when it was the Scully and Doggart show. And I was still even watching it when it wasn't even Scully anymore, when there was an entire season where Mulder and Scully were gone because David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson were like, fuck this shit. And the first episode was, it annoyed me in a weird way. It was info dump and conspiracy crazy and a lot of, hey, let's take everything that's happened in the last 10 years and tie it all together in a big conspiracy bow in 4 different ways. Ugh. I was not impressed.
Yeah, I one of my issues, and this is like when I've watched the original X-Files, I liked it a lot. And the conspiracy stuff, when they would kind of like, oh, we're so close to an answer, oh no, it's gone. That didn't annoy me because when I watched X-Files, I was an idiot. Now, in my wizened self, after having suffered through Lost and other mythology shows that didn't really do the mythology a whole lot of justice, I am a whole lot more cynical. And I'm with you, Obo. It annoyed me that and maybe in a slightly different way, but it annoyed me that I'm like, here's a man standing there and going, "You're close to the answers." Fucking give him the answers. You're old. You're nearly dead. Why do you need him to confirm anything? Just give him the fucking answers. And so like the nostalgia kind of wore off at that point, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Just tell him. And that's what really started to annoy me, was the fact that here is the story and these bits that these people are going after, and they're ripping them away inorganically to serve the 6 episodes. So I don't know if they've gotten any better, but yeah, like the first 30 minutes of the last X-Files, I was like, hey, X-Files. Oh wow, Scully's still hot. I totally do that. Oh, Mulder looks a little scruffy, but he's still more or less Mulder. And then, like, by the end, I was like, eh.
And Skinner is still one of the most attractive bald men on campus.
He has had an uninteresting career in the FBI. If he's still doing the same fucking job 10 years later.
You know, Luke mentioned that. He's like, wait, he's still assistant director? He hasn't gotten promoted? And in fairness, when you're assistant director of the FBI, there is only one place you can go. And apparently that guy hasn't died yet. So Or retired. There you go. But yes, I agree. But he listen, Skinner took a 10-year absence from the FBI to go be Stargate man for a little while, and then came back to the FBI. So he had to reestablish his roots and grow a beard.
I mean, I understand that commanding the Daedalus is a pretty good move. He joined the Air Force and became a colonel, so that happened.
Exactly. And grew a beard. Still bald, grew a beard.
Oh, he got implanted by a Goa'uld once. But he got better.
Yeah, you got better. I have to admit, I was really hoping, especially since this is such a limited run series with commercials and everything, that these 6 episodes were not going to be mythology, conspiracy crazy. That they were going to be 6 loosely tied episodes of Monster of the Week. Because I think the original X-Files was mostly Monster of the Week with the mythology episodes to get you through the cliffhangers. And they were one of the first shows to really do that like crazy, and propagated the whole you have to keep watching week after week or else you won't know what the fuck is going on. But I always felt the best episodes that came out of X-Files were those standalone episodes. Those Monster of the Week ones, those are the ones that I will watch if they come on. It's never the conspiracy stuff. So even though, Jonathan, like what you said, we've now watched a whole bunch of 10 years worth of TV trying to do that, watch every week or you don't know what's going on. I was kind of hoping that this would just be a little bit of a nostalgia romp, that there would be a reason to pull these 2 people back and be like, hey, we need to get these things taken care of now. Who are the best people for the job? Let's bring them back. I don't care that they've been hiding in a cabin in the woods
And banging and making kids.
but not together.
No, they have a child together. They said so in the first episode.
Oh yes, but that was they had No, that happened.
Mulder's a lucky man to have tagged that.
Yeah.
For as long as they did.
That happened at the end of the regular series years and years and years ago. That's the reason one of the reasons they gave for Mulder and Scully leaving the FBI to begin with was relationship and child. But it's no surprise to anyone that didn't continue. Like, of all the things I really did not like about the first episode, the only thing I did was I felt that Scully continues to be the most rational, level-headed person, and on a regular basis when things were happening and I would turn to Luke and say something in an incredulous tone, within seconds Scully was usually saying the same thing.
You've got that in common with Scully. You're both level-headed and rather hot.
Well, thank you. I am not a redhead, though. I also don't have a Scully box. I think I just made a reference nobody will get.
Her vagina?
No.
Scully vagina? Is that what?
So Gillian Anderson is like 1.5 feet shorter than David Duchovny. And so back in the day, yeah, back in the day they had her.
Hollywood, the man had to be taller than the woman lead. So if he was shorter, they would put him on apple boxes to make him taller, aka a man maker.
Yes,
that's
but
funny.
The height disparity was so great.
Scully box is also known as an apple box.
Yeah. I remember hearing it called a Scully box, but I remember hearing it from X-Files people. So, yeah.
So Dana Scully is because I forgot her real name.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson is how tall?
I don't know.
It's too bad no one has a magical internet device to look this up.
Well, I could look it up, but then my typing is super loud. Here we go. Gillian Anderson.
While we're looking that up, I am interested.
She is 5'3".
5'3", and so Duchovny's like what, like 6'2", 6'3", or something like that.
David Duchovny is 6 feet.
Oh,
so they're not like
terrible.
They're both average. He's maybe a little tall, but they're both average. But if they're having a scene in where they're, close to each other talking,
it's
she's
hard to
talking
frame that.
into his chest.
No, that's like, I know in JAG they had to have a mad box for the female lead.
Oh yeah,
Karen Bell or something like that. Catherine Bell, that's who it was, because she was something like 5'2", and the male lead was like super tall. I forget his name, but he was like 6'4", 6'5",
Yeah.
Way too tall for a Navy pilot. But yeah, that was like probably several apple boxes.
I've had to build walkways because somebody was shorter. It was like the antagonist was shorter than the protagonist, and we wanted them to look big and scary. And so I've had to build a walkway of apple boxes. Somebody like walked up to him. He's not up and down. He's just this continual same height.
That's funny.
Oh, and looking up David Duchovny, I just found out that he earned his star on the Walk of Fame
Oh, good.
literally a day ago.
So
Thank you, Variety.
between Californication and X-Files, he got that star. Bringing in monsters and banging chicks.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep, January 25th, he got his star on the Walk of Fame. It's mostly because of X-Files. He's also shooting the second season of NBC's period drama Aquarius.
What?
I don't-
Never heard of the.
I've
first
never
season.
heard of that either.
I don't know what that
Is that a
is.
60s period show?
It just says period drama and continues to support the release of last year's solo rock album Hell or High Water because he is a singer-songwriter because he's crazy.
You know what? Speaking of height, I want to call something out on this. We were hanging out the other night with some friends of the show and some friends that we have. One of them, Lauren Doodles, claims that she was 5'5". There's no way Doodles is 5'5". No.
Well,
5'2", maybe.
5'3" if she spikes her hair.
Yeah, she's tall.
If the dollop goes up an inch, then yeah, it's 5'3".
She's got to be more than 5'2" because I'm 5'2", and she is definitely taller than me.
Is she?
She's definitely tall. I don't know how much because I'm bad at that shit, but she is
Maybe
definitely
5'5",
taller than
Spiky
me.
hair 5'5".
I don't know. I don't believe
okay.
that.
Wait, I was not looking at her hair when I was looking into her eyes, and her eyes, unless she was wearing like the tallest, craziest heels ever at RTX, which I don't think so. I think I remember her wearing very sensible shoes, or not noticing them at all. She's definitely taller than me. It may only be an inch or two.
I don't. For me, whenever I think of her, I always think she's super tiny.
Well, that's because you are a tall man, and most women.
I'm
next
not
to
that
you are
tall.
super
I'm only 5'10".
That's taller.
Yeah.
Considering most women are like 5'3", 5'4" on average, that's still considerably shorter than you.
Actually, it was funny. About a month ago, they had National Short Girl Day, and I
It
wished.
was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing, and so like subreddits had like girls making the most of like getting stuff off of top shelves and stuff. So a friend of the show, I mentioned, hey, happy Short Girl Day, and she got extremely offended that I considered her a short girl because she's like, I am 5'5", and that is not short. And I'm like, okay, but the actual holiday of National Short Girl Day said 5'5" and under.
Yeah. Well, I have my female roommate. She's definitely a short girl. But then also my other roommate, Dan, who's 6'5". So we went house hunting. We're like, oh yeah, these are all the Dan shelves up here. This
Oh,
is
God.
all the stuff we don't want Anna to have.
His
If you-
Twitter feed while you guys were house hunting was one of the best things ever.
Twitter feed, you've definitely or have friended Dan on Facebook. You've probably seen these pictures, or
Yeah.
if you posted.
I posted a few. But yeah, there's pictures of him in tiny showers, him in tiny closets, him where a house that we were looking at, the roof sloped in the kitchen, so his head was literally touching the roof. And then another one where we're walking down the stairs and the overhang from the second floor to the first floor, like with the stairs, literally came to below his neck. He would have gotten
Yeah,
decapitated if he went down the stairs with any amount of speed.
That one I literally showed everybody I ran into all day long. I was just like, you have to see this picture of my friend in his stairs. Look at this. It's
It's
ridiculous.
But
So true.
back to Doodles real quick. I mean, there's an easy way to settle this. How tall would you guys say she is compared to me?
Shorter than you
Definitely shorter than me, but like by how much? By a little? By a lot?
by a bit, I would say.
I don't really look at Jack like that.
Because I'm 5'7". So if she's saying she's 5'5". I mean, I could see 5'4". 5'5" is possible. I have to remember like where she came up to. But I mean, depends on what kind of shoes she was wearing when we went to lunch during RTX.
You know what's great about this? During dinner, she even said how she got really bad about listening to our stuff, like the pod, like Glib Shark and D&D. So she's not even gonna hear any of this.
She's not going to hear a damn thing.
If only somebody could tweet at her right now, just so that she could
God.
clarify. If only the Glib Shark Twitter.
We're talking mad shit about one Doodles, and
I'm not talking shit. I said
No,
she's
I'm
taller
talking
than
shit.
me, and I stand by that.
I'm on it.
She also narked on you too about coming down here.
Yeah, I know. I found out that that she is a little spy for Rocket John here. Disclosing my plans.
It was literally like, oh, hey, do you know, like we're sitting there eating, like we were shooting something in the office and we're eating lunch in the break room, and she, like, you know, she walks in, I give her a hug. Hey, she's like, oh yeah, Jonathan's coming down 21. And I'm like, I do now. It's like I'm staying with him, like for PAX South. I'm staying with him, but I didn't realize he was coming into town early. So I was like, all right, let's get together.
I would have told you.
Oh,
eventually,
I know you would have, but I just like that I have a little inside spy who doesn't realize that she's a spy for me.
Jesus,
And tweeted.
Like Varys,
That girl.
with my little spikes.
Perfect.
well, unfortunately, we're probably going to be done here in just a bit. So
That's okay. That's just incentive for her to come on next week.
To defend her claims.
To defend her-
To in audio
She's gonna
form
write a
defend her height.
if she's going to write a diss rap.
High art.
You know, I have a tape measure in the car. If she does make it down to PAX South,
I've got like 3 in my bedroom.
well, okay. Well, bring one in case I
I've got a
don't
laser
have
one,
mine, and we will settle this and we will film it because if we film it, it's okay. And
What?
Well, that seems.
okay, no,
The
they-
views reflected by Jonathan Cerna do
No,
not certainly
no,
reflect
no.
those of the Glib
So,
Shark Corporation.
I don't know if you guys watched any of the RT stuff from RTX Australia. There were a couple of really good panels. Like the Founding Fathers panel was awesome, where they talked about Day 5 is coming out. They showed a Day 5 trailer. They showed a trailer for something called Crunch Time,
Yep.
which they're producing, and then they also just kind of talked. The off topic was awesome because it was pretty much nothing but Jeff telling stories about how he's killed animals with his car, and the one that I'm about to reference was the ladies panel where they were talking about like stuff at work, like what's appropriate, what's not. And pretty much the mantra is if you film it and the person's good with it, it's okay.
Doesn't matter. I'm still tweeting about it because that's amazing. That's I'm sorry, officer, but we filmed it, so it's okay.
Well, no, I say like criminal activity is obviously not okay, but I'm just
Too late.
like in the realm of the workspace, like if
In the realm of hilarity, though,
if I did something at work and it was between two parties that consented and it was like a prank or something and then we filmed it, but everyone was okay, we could still get in trouble. But apparently,
the corporate life.
yeah, I know. It sucks.
I love being a freelancer.
Fuck you.
Making art. Being paid to make art. It's great. No, it's not. I'm so hungry.
You say that after we went to sushi and that was fun.
Yeah.
We met a bunch of our friends at a sushi
Sake
place.
bombs.
We had sake bombs.
Courtesy of Jerkface.
One of our other friends, friend quote of the show, Izzy, suggested that we do sake bombs. She mentioned that's what you guys did after she came down that one Christmas. You guys got tattoos, and then afterwards.
Oh! I was high. I don't remember. Well, what happened was a friend of ours, she got a tattoo on her ribs, and so she was in a lot of pain. And I had like leftover oxys from when I had kidney stones, and so she had been taking my Motrins because she's been having migraines, and so she thought she was getting one of those. And I said, no, I'm all out. You used them all. I have oxy. I can give you one of those if you want one. And she's like, yeah. But she was like so in pain she didn't realize. Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't want to say who it was,
Yeah.
but anyway.
And so I gave her one, and then I was like, fine, I'll take one myself. But we're sitting at dinner, and we hadn't eaten yet, and so we're sitting there eating, and she's like, the fuck did you give me? I'm like, oxy? She's like, why? I'm like, because I said it's all I had left.
because you said yes when we thought you were in a state of mind where that's good.
I was in pain. I wasn't paying attention.
So this is probably why when Izzy mentioned sake bombs, and as a memorial to when you guys had sushi and sake bombs way back when, you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I have no recollection. And then again, I'm not a big sake person, so.
The sake was good.
Yeah, I mean,
They gave us this place did sake bombs right. So like they didn't just bring out like when you order a car bomb, you get the Guinness. It's a glass of Guinness. You get the Baileys.
Bailey's and Jameson.
Yeah, Baileys and Jameson. So those are the shots. and then you set it off, and then you drink. They don't give you like a growler of Guinness and an entire bottle of Bailey's. But when we got sake bombs at this place, they gave us a bottle of beer
And a little carafe
and
of sake.
a carafe, like essentially a bottle of sake. So we had all this booze after just wanting to do sake bombs.
Well, I think Jonathan had the leftover, the guy, Tiff's, right, and I think there was at least 3 sake bombs worth in between the two.
I could not have drank all that sake and be okay to drive here.
Yeah.
So Lauren responded. She's all like, what? Height claims? And I explained, and we're waiting for a response. And I said, apparently Roadblock finds your claims of being 5'5" dubious. I am neutral. And I just sort of put my name on there under the Glib Shark account
Oh God.
to explain who was talking. But,
And I responded as well because.
Yeah. See, be warned, has a tape measure and is willing to use it.
So there you go. If you wanted to keep up with this rousing debate about heights, then definitely follow Glib Shark on Twitter. That's at Glib Shark.
Yeah.
And you can follow the rest of us at Obo Crazy and at other things because, just those 2 things are just fun. Or Dungeon Drunks, at Dungeon Drunks. That's fun too.
You're the important one.
I got the
Yeah.
important one.
Nice. Man.
Okay. Would you gentlemen like to rattle off your Twitters?
I guess.
I'm at road_block Jonathan, and I'm awesome. So follow me.
Yeah, and I'm at that film guy with underscores for spaces. So, yeah.
Because you've got to be that guy.
No, because
And-
the other one was already taken.
And I'm at Jack Edithil, and I'm looking to form a league or guild or whatever they call it on Marvel Puzzle Quest. So come hit me up.
Oh, you can. No, I'm on that on the iPad. What do you want it?
Oh, iPhone.
I think that'll work out. Let's talk later. You can join the thing that do you already have something set up? Or?
I'm in a league right now, but I can
Oh.
always just ditch it and come out. I
Ditch
can
it.
leave.
Ditch it.
Stay with your
Yeah.
friends.
So our sound producer is Jonathan. Dubious claims of height Cerna.
Look, okay, so I did not want this to become a thing because,
Then you shouldn't have brought it up.
well, it was just me kind of BSing, and I don't want anyone to get actually offended.
I am 5 feet and 5 inches confused right now.
And big thanks to our good buddy John, aka that film guy, aka Carlton Tanks, aka Daddy Fat Sex. I think they're still calling you that, right?
No, nobody's ever called me that.
What the?
Oh. No, I'm thinking of the guy from Outcast. Never mind. Linnea Boyev does our music. Bob Ball says the words at the beginning and end of the show. And on behalf of Lauren Urban, Jonathan Cerna, and Jack Edithel, I guess, this is me saying good night, good health, and
Go see Laser Team.
and bye, Abe.
Razor T. Oh yeah, bye Abe. Bye, bye Abe.
I'll pour one out for you.